Hi, I'm Sophia of SoScript Co. I started that small business while I was an undergrad at Penn. I graduated in 2019 and I'm currently in the Graduate School of Education. So that business actually started out of necessity. My older sister was graduating a year ahead of me and she doesn't exactly consider herself creative. So we were talking about what to put on her graduation cap, knowing that I was going to be the one to paint it. And then I realized a lot of people might need this. And so I started a business. I started sharing this online, and when it gained popularity, I also started shipping graduation cap toppers on paper to people around the country. So today I'm going to show how to do both, and maybe you want to watch both and you'll decide which one you'd prefer to do. But I also wanted to show you my examples here. The one that started it all first is my sister's. Since we're learning from a distance this semester, I'm able to show you the ones that we have at home. So this is one that started it all. And then when I graduated, this was the one I did for myself. But I've done so many, whether it was just a quote or a full painting on the entire cap. I can give you some tips on how to do all of those. And you guys can now judge for yourselves, like, who's this chick that I'm learning from? You can judge whether you want to learn from me now. Okay, so we'll get started. So to paint directly on your graduation cap to decorate it, you're going to use a lot of acrylic paint, especially white. So the thing about painting on fabric is that fabric likes to suck in all the moisture. So what I found that when I'm painting using any color, it kind of likes to soak through the black of the cap. So I paint in white, and then anything that I want to put on top of it, any other color, any other designs like these ones, they sit on top of that white paint instead of soaking through. So the downside is that we're going to have to paint everything in white first, and then if there are any colors you want to put on top, you can put on top of that. I am at home, so I don't have a bunch of blank graduation caps to work with. But I have a sample one that I got from a thrift store a long time ago, and I started lettering on it, and we will just continue from here. So far, this is what we have, and I'm gonna walk you through how I did this. So first step was to grab a ruler, and you just measure across your diagonal, making sure over and over and over again that you have it in the direction that you want it to be read. As in, this is going to be where the front of your face is. Okay, so if you wear your graduation cap like this, people will be reading it like this, and you want to make sure it's not going to be upside down. So check it and double check it and triple check it. If you need to, put a sticker right here to let you know that this needs to be the top, because after that, you can't really fix it. What you could do if you mess that up, you could just do a topper and watch that video and then put that on top of this one. But let's try to avoid that, and we'll just get it right the first time. So we'll mark our top, and then we have our ruler to go across this entire area. Now, some people don't mind that they write on the button, like I don't mind that. Some people want to avoid it altogether, but I beg of you, please do not start a word right here and then continue it over here. It always looks weird. So as much as you can, you're gonna plan where your lettering is gonna be. In this case, we took our quote from Lilo and Stitch and put a little spin on it. So we have our full quote, and what you're going to do is write out as many lines as you think you'll need. I obviously have some extras here. Two options: you could do pencil, or you could use white color pencil if that helps you to see it a little bit better, and you can write out the letters the way you want them written. And this is an additional step for people who are painting directly on their graduation cap. You can't use an eraser to try and erase this, otherwise you will have these gray marks wherever your letters were or whatever line you tried to erase. So, extra item that you need: a dark, preferably black, but any dark colored cloth. And I typically just use this as a sleeve of a sweater. And you can use that to rub out the lines, just like if you've ever used tissue, white tissue on something and you see the white dust on it. This won't do that. So that's why I would always use something dark. So I'm gonna grab the sleeve of this, and you can see the difference. Obviously, if you're erasing lines, please be sure that the rest of your paint is dry. So you can see the difference that made. It's a little bit shiny, but it's so much better than if you had these gray, ashy lines across your page. Depending on the fabric of your graduation cap, that may or may not even happen. It didn't for mine. But yeah, so this is the stage you're at now. What I'm gonna do is letter maybe 2021 right on the top, so that way you guys have an example of what it looks like to paint directly on the graduation cap. So switching cameras. Okay, so I'm gonna grab our paint brushes. I have a little squirt here of acrylic white paint. What I'm gonna do is dry off my brush, and I'm going to just paint 2021. I actually want it on the bottom. So carefully. After you've written out everything you want written on your cap, then you're gonna let it dry completely, because there would be nothing worse than to start painting something else on here while this is wet and then getting this all smudged. So we'll wait on doing the border. And so basically our next step is going to be painting in white everything that you want on here. So if you wanted to paint Lilo and Stitch, you'd have to outline them completely in white first. We're just gonna do some nice flowers on here, and I'll show you how that looks. So we'll set this aside. Okay, so now that this is dry, our 2021 at the bottom is also dry, we're gonna do all of the border. So since we're painting on black, basically we're going to prime it just like you would paint your walls white first before doing another color. We're gonna make sure that the colors that sit on top look bright and vibrant. So we're gonna paint whatever we want in white first, let that dry, and then paint in color on top. And now I'm just gonna mark out all the places where I want my flowers and leaves and things like that. So now we can go in with our colors on top of the white. And so now that it's gonna be sitting right on top, it's not gonna sink so much into the black fabric. So grab your brush, you can mix a little bit of each color to give a little bit of dimension to the things that you're painting, because nothing is gonna be just one perfectly solid color. So I like to mix in different shades together. So that's our finished piece. Now you could stop here, Or if you want to go to the dollar store and get rhinestones and throw those on, you can do that. This is the spot for glue and glitter. And if you have metallic ink pens, you could do this whole lettering over in gold or add some swirls, but I'm not going to do that this time. I think the only addition I will add is that I like to end with some little dots here and there. So I'm going to just grab my light pink that I used in this project and just spread them around all over. Ta-da! And so this is our final piece, and you have something that's completely unique to whatever it is that you want to design. So as soon as it's dry, you're good to wear it and put the tassel right back on. So I hope you guys enjoyed and had fun, and congratulations.